Sol 3, a realistic epic fantasy adventure by J.N. Wdowski, copyright 2025. Note: for your full enjoyment, be sure to read or listen to the end and continue to the next chapter. Chapter 32. With the setting sun behind them, they rode into little fields. Makeshift barricades had been put up, and the town's population had swelled greatly since they had left a week ago. Pete and Kia greeted Dale as they rode into the town center. Dale noticed Kia was equipped with a steel sword and steel chainmail. "Where did you find the new gear, Kia?" It was the Barterville townsmen. They brought with them a wagon full of steel mail shirts, shields, and weapons. She smiled as she drew her sword and felt the weight of it. "As you said, much better than bronze. They brought enough to re-equip all of my command." Tradesman rode up to join Dale and the others since the column had stopped. Dale addressed him. "Thank you for giving these to Kia and her Anubis." "We didn't give them. They paid in gold for them," Tradesman corrected Dale. "For a slight profit, of course. Just a bit above cost due to the times we're in." "Very generous of you," Chopson responded sarcastically. Tradesman, picking up on Chopson's tone, defended his actions. "Do you support slavery, Chopson?" "Of course not." Chopson was offended by the suggestion. "You think our blacksmiths should labor over a hot furnace for days upon days, hammering out on their anvils their extremely well-crafted weapons and armor, for free?" Tradesman was serious in the defense of the trade. "They do not just invest their time and labor, but also spend their hard-earned coin to buy the needed raw materials and fuel to heat their furnaces. Are you suggesting they should do all this at a financial loss? They do not deserve compensation for the years of refining their craft? You feel they should not be able to earn a little profit to feed their families?" Chopson felt embarrassed. "Well, no, of course not." "I am very pleased with the trade, Chopson." Kia smiled, sliding her new sword into its scabbard. The scraping of metal against metal made her grin even wider. "That sound alone was well worth the gold we paid." "I love that sound too. There is something reassuring and musical to it." Dale agreed with her. "She bartered well and got me to lower the prices per unit, since she was willing to take our entire inventory. It was a good deal. Our blacksmiths will be pleased with the sale," added Tradesman. "Glad all parties are happy with the transaction." Dale dismounted his horse, followed by the others in his party. "Very happy." She ran her hand over her fine steel mail shirt. "This is much more comfortable than my bronze breastplate." "And much better protection too," Tradesman responded, as if he was still trying to make a sale. "Those links are so fine they could fend off even arrows. From a distance, that is." As Chopson saw to the men stabling the horses and unpacking the sulfur, Dale turned his attention to Pete. "Anything to report?" "No enemy contacts. The influx of support has been amazing. Many of the settlements to the far east have sent scores of armed men and archers, along with wagons of supplies." "How many?" Dale looked at the large number of armored men in the town moving about, changing of guard duty at the barricades and different groups drilling in the town green. Dale was amazed at the amount of life and activity in the town, compared to when they retook it about a week ago. More have been filtering in every day. "I am guessing we are at least 1,500 strong already," Pete reported. "The guano should be at East Riverton by now. Kia had the foresight to station some of our men with fresh horses at the Ridgeline Inn, so they could relay the guano quickly back to East Riverton." Dale turned to Kia. "Good idea, Kia." She smiled, still feeling the smoothness of her mail shirt. Seemed basic. "Dale." "Yes, Pixa?" Dale looked up to her. She turned and looked at the sun about to set. "I need to retire." "Of course, Pixa." He began walking into the inn to take a room for himself and set her up. Placing a hand on Pete's back, he guided him to follow. "You and Kia have done a great job here. I couldn't have left Littlefields in better hands. Pete, I need you to choose a party of 10 men with fresh horses and have them take the sulfur on to East Riverton. I want them to set off before sunset." He looked at Kia, who followed them into the inn, then back to Pete. "Have them hand off the sulfur to the men at Ridgeline Inn with fresh mounts to continue the sulfur onto East Riverton." "Aye, Dale." Pete gave a quick casual salute, the tip of his fingers touching his forehead, before going off to choose men he could trust for the mission. "Kia, do you think we can hold Littlefields?" Dale turned his attention back to her as they headed for the staircase to find a room for Pixa to settle for the night. The inn was very much alive with men eating at every table, talking and laughing. "I thought you wanted to abandon Littlefields once you made it back," she replied. "I did, but I'm starting to think with such a large force here, it may be a good idea to hold on to it," Dale answered. "Why?" she inquired. His reasoning was that holding Littlefields would make it easier for them to return to the shelter. Yet he was not ready to let the Anubis or any of the other human settlements know its location. Perhaps our presence on this side of the New Angle River will distract the Devil Maiden's raft from East Riverton. She may look at us as a thorn in her back. If she does decide to lay siege on East Riverton, she considered his strategy. "Yes, just like I wanted to hold Littlefields. Not to have it as a knife to our back when we had to venture further west," he confirmed her understanding. Zoop and Josh both silently understood his real reason, that he wanted to hold Littlefields to better secure the shelter, its armory, and most importantly, its library. "Makes sense," she agreed. "I think we could force them to attack us and draw off heat from East Riverton, giving them more time to develop the firearms." "The great author has blessed us with an exciting and logical narration," Josh injected. Morning. Dale. Wake up, Dale." Dale woke and opened his eyes, expecting to see Pixa flying above him. "Pixa, where are you?" He rubbed his eyes as he sat up, noticing it was morning, but the skies outside were covered in thick, dark clouds. "Here, Dale. I am here," she called out to him. Following the sound of her voice, he looked over the edge of his bed, seeing her standing on the floor below. "Why are you there?" She looked to the dark clouds outside the window. "I don't have enough sunlight to fly." He reached his arm down to her. She wrapped her arms around his forearm so he could lift her up onto the bed. She crossed her legs sitting on the bed as she looked up at him. "Are you okay?" He was concerned. "I'm okay." She smiled at him for caring. "I just don't have enough sunlight to fly. Like when we had the rain a few days back." Dale looked again to the window. The storm clouds were much thicker and darker than he had ever experienced before. What was odd was it was not raining. Not a single drop of rain was falling. "These are not normal storm clouds." "No, they are not," Pixa agreed. Loud, rapid, panicking knocks came to the door. "Enter," Dale responded as he got off the bed, picking his clothes off a nearby chair to start dressing. Pete came in flustered, breathing heavily as if he had just run non-stop up a half-dozen flights of stairs. "Dale," he said, his face struck with fear as he tried to catch his breath. "Take your time." Dale slipped on his composite vest. "What is it?" "She's here." Still visibly terrified, Pete tried to calm down. "And she is asking for you by name." "Who's she? And who is asking for me by name?" Dale first thought of Christine, which made no sense that Christine would be in Littlefields and would panic Pete. "Lucifera," Pixa answered. Pete pointed at Pixa, nodding his head in agreement. "The Devil Maiden." Dale looked at the unnatural storm clouds outside, and looked back at Pete. "How would she know my name?" Pete shrugged his shoulders. "I have no idea." Pixa looked up at Dale. "She has her ways." Dale worried about the location of the shelter and their quests for gunpowder. "What else does she know?" he thought to himself. Pete stood silently as Dale paused to think while strapping on his gun belt and the katana. He slung his Warson assault rifle over his back. "Since she came all this way and asked for me by name, I guess I should find out what she wants to say." Pixa's face changed to alarm. You do not want to listen to what she has to say. The dark fairy's song was nothing compared to the seductive powers of a devil maiden. Dale looked at Pixa, who was now standing on the bed and emotionally charged. She can't be any worse than Christine was. Pete gave a chuckle at Dale's response. Pixa reached her arms up to him. At least take me with you. I do not want you facing Lucifera alone. Dale picked her up, opening his vest. He let her climb inside so he could carry her downstairs. He turned to Pete. Take us to her. Downstairs, Chopson, Josh, Kia, Tradesman, and Zup were all waiting and all seemed rattled. She came alone, Chopson informed him. She's a cocky one. No escort, no army behind her. She actually came alone. We should kill her now. Zup was holding his firearm at the ready. End this here and now. Without her, her demonic forces will crawl back from whence they came. I would guess this coming interaction with you and her is all part of the great author's grand epic. Josh disagreed with Zup. I am curious to hear what he has written for her to say to you. Dale looked at Josh. As I am. Yet. He turned to Zup. Be at the ready to take her out if things go south with her. He turned to Chopson. Place John in a good position to take the shot if needed. The pack boy John? Chopson asked. He's our best shot, Dale confirmed. Now where is she? She is waiting for you at the west entrance. All my men and others are holding her at bay, Tradesman reported. She is being surprisingly patient. Well, let's not keep her waiting. Dale walked out of the inn. Stepping outside the black clouds above made the air feel unnaturally heavy. He walked towards the west entrance, with everyone in tow. Continue to Chapter 33.
To support the author, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.